Hello, I'm Adam Newman. This is my official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and support them. Young and the Restless spoilers, full episodes, the 29th of June 2026. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is a beautiful Tuesday, but my blood pressure is absolutely through the roof after watching the latest episode. Grab your coffee, your wine, or whatever you need, because we have a lot to unpack today. Let's dive right in. I cannot believe what I just watched. I am literally typing this at 2 a.m. because if I don't get this out of my system, I am going to explode. Are we seriously supposed to feel bad for Victor Newman right now? I am sorry, but the absolute audacity of this man is making me pull my hair out. And don't even get me started on the Chancellor Winter's mess, because Jill Abbott is back in town and she is about to scorch the earth. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with the hospital because my heart is physically aching for Nikki Newman and I need to vent about it. Can we talk about that devastating scene where Nikki wakes up from her nap? The sheer, unfiltered terror in her voice when she realized she couldn't see anything but pitch black darkness? I've been watching this show for years, and Melody Thomas Scott just delivered an absolute masterclass in acting. The rapid deterioration of her vision is terrifying to witness. We all knew her headaches were bad, like excruciatingly bad, but to go from severe pain to waking up completely blind in a matter of days, it's horrifying. She is lying there in that sterile hospital bed, completely vulnerable, waiting for this emergency specialist surgeon to arrive, and you can just feel her absolute panic radiating through the screen. If they don't operate like yesterday, she might never see again. And it breaks my heart because Nikki has been through so much over the decades. The MS, the drinking, the endless trauma, and now this? It is just cruel. And then, we have Victor. Oh my God. Victor Newman. The show is really trying to frame it like he is this doting, heartbroken husband grappling with immense guilt as he reflects on their future together. Excuse me? Am I the only one who remembers what he literally just did a week ago on June 22nd? This man manipulated a terrified, heavily medicated Nikki into signing a medical power of attorney that actually transferred all her Newman Enterprises shares into a trust HE controls. He was liquidating her personal assets while she was drugged out of her mind. He was literally looting her estate before she even took her last breath. And now he's sitting in the hospital hallway, looking sad because she's going blind? No, I am not buying this sudden redemption arc. You don't get to steal your dying wife's company, commit massive financial abuse, and then play the hero because you flew in a fancy surgeon. The hypocrisy is actually suffocating me. The spoilers say Nikki still wants him to stay away. And good for her. Stand your ground, Queen. Do not let that man back into your orbit after what he did. But Victor is working overtime to cure her, and I can already see exactly where the writers are going with this storyline. If this emergency surgery is successful and her vision is restored, they are going to make her feel so overwhelmingly grateful that she drops her guard. They are going to use this medical crisis to push a Victor Save My Life narrative to reunite them. And I hate that I kind of want it, because as incredibly toxic as they are, Victor and Nikki are iconic. I mean, they are the definition of a soap opera super couple. But I just don't know how you come back from asset liquidation while your wife thinks she's dying. Maybe they'll use Claire Grace as the excuse to bond them back together. We need to be united front for Claire. Yeah, because that works so well for your other kids, Victor. Sure. Let's pretend Claire will magically fix your deeply broken marriage. Speaking of the kids, the entire Newman family keeping vigil at the hospital is giving me major anxiety. Victoria is absolutely devastated. But you know what else she is? She's smart. She already figured out that Victor was looting the estate. So imagine Victoria, sitting in that suffocating waiting room, watching her father play the grieving, desperate husband, knowing full well what he did with those trust documents. The tension in that room must be thick enough to cut with a knife. Victoria has to be biting her tongue so hard it's bleeding. I desperately need a scene where Victoria corners Victor in the hospital chapel and just lets him have it. She needs to expose his financial theft right there next to the holy water. She needs to scream at him for using her mother's failing health as a corporate power grab. And then there's Nick and Claire Grace, just sitting there in silent support. Let's take a minute to process Nick being there. This poor guy just survived a literal fentanyl overdose in a horrific car crash orchestrated by Matt Clark back in May. Nick is lucky to even be breathing, let alone sitting in a hospital chair supporting his mother. The trauma this family has endured in the last few months is astronomical. Nick looks so broken, and I don't blame him. He needs his mother to pull through because if Nikki dies, I genuinely think Nick might relapse into his addiction. And Claire Grace, sweet, traumatized Claire. She's finally found a stable family environment, and now the matriarch might go blind or die. The stakes are so incredibly high right now, and the emotional weight of this family vigil is just crushing me. I am so stressed for all of them. Okay, deep breath. Let me wipe my tears. Let's pivot, because the hospital drama is only half of the chaos happening in Genoa City right now. We need to talk about the absolute hurricane that just blew back into town. Jill freaking Abbott. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room regarding the casting. Jess Walton is temporarily out, and Lauren Koslow is stepping in to play Jill for the next 5 episodes. I know recasts can be super jarring for us longtime fans, especially for a legacy character like Jill, who we've known for decades. But honestly, Lauren Koslow is a soap legend. She's giving us that fierce, take no prisoners energy that Jill requires, so I am absolutely here for it. I'm gonna give her a chance, because the material she's about to work with is pure, unadulterated gold. Jill's return is a massive surprise to Billy and Kane, and let me tell you, Billy should be terrified. The relationship between Billy and Jill is so incredibly strained right now, and it desperately needs to be addressed. Remember back in April? Jill and Billy were the ones constantly doubting Sally's pregnancy, questioning if the baby was even his, pushing Sally to the absolute brink until she fled in the blinding rain, crashed her car, and lost the baby. Billy has been drowning in guilt over Sally's miscarriage, and Jill was a huge part of that toxic pressure cooker. They need to have a massive, screaming confrontation about what they did to Sally. Billy needs to hold his mother accountable. But we all know Billy is a mess who deflects everything. I swear, if Jill comes back and tries to act like she did nothing wrong regarding Sally's tragedy, I am going to throw my remote at the television screen. But the real main event? The thing that is going to break the internet and have all of us screaming in the forums? Jill finding out that Kane Ashby is the new CEO of Chancellor. Oh my god. When I read that spoiler for Monday, June 29th, I literally screamed out loud. Let's rewind for a second and remember how we got here. Kane ruthlessly blackmailed Lily Winters, using his bone marrow match to save a dying Malcolm just to extort control of Chancellor Winters. He literally held a dying man's life hostage to get a CEO chair. And now, he is sitting in the big boy seat at Chancellor, a company that Jill Abbott considers her blood, sweat, and tears. This is Catherine Chancellor's legacy. And smarmy, manipulative, scheming Kane Ashby is running it? Jill is going to absolutely spontaneously combust. You guys know Jill. She does not play when it comes to her company or her legacy. The reaction she is going to have when she realizes Kane slithered his way into the CEO position is going to spark a confrontation of epic proportions. I am predicting thrown drinks, slapped faces, and a hostile corporate takeover attempt by Friday. Kane thinks he's so smart because he cornered Lily and forced her hand, but he has never faced the wrath of a fully unhinged Jill Abbott protecting her territory. Kane better hire a whole team of security guards because Jill is going to rip him limb from limb in that boardroom. I cannot wait to see her tear him down. I mean, the drama is just top tier right now. We have Victor playing God with Nikki's life and finances, Nikki facing permanent darkness, and Jill returning to wage a corporate bloodbath against Kane. I am so emotionally invested I can't even sleep. Am I the only one who thinks Kane is going to end up in a hospital bed right next to Nikki by the time Jill is done with him? Seriously, let me know what you guys think in the comments because my brain is spinning. What storyline are you most hyped for this Monday, June 29th? Because I am strapped in, I have my snacks, and I am ready for the ride.